John Bailey here from the Catawba County United Way, and we're here with another edition of our Hope in Action series, where we get a chance to talk with local nonprofit leaders and learn a little bit about their agencies and the programs and the impact they have on our community. And today we have Michele Francois with Catawba County DSS. She is the director for the Senior Nutrition Services program there, and so we're really grateful that you could take some time and hang out with us a little bit and talk about the program.
Well, thank you, John. It's good to be here. I'm always happy to be able to share information with the community about the services we provide.
All right, great. Well, I'd like to actually just jump right into that because I have a little insider's point of view, what we do at the United Way about all of the things that Senior Nutrition Services does. I would imagine a lot of folks probably don't, so I was wondering if you could just give us a quick breakdown of the programs and what they do.
Oh, great. Love to. Well, first of all, our mission at Senior Nutrition Services is to allow seniors in Catawba County to age at home for as long as possible, because we know staying at home makes people happier, healthier, and frankly, it's less expensive than moving into assisted living or into a nursing home. And we do that. We have 3 programs. The one that people know most about is Meals on Wheels, and that's been in the community for over 50 years. And Meals on Wheels is serving those seniors who are 60 or older who either medically, physically, or mentally aren't able to provide a nutritious meal for themselves on a consistent basis. It's a real struggle for them to get out to get groceries. They can't stand for extended periods of time, and they're really not getting outside of the home, except for maybe to go to a doctor's appointment. And I think sometimes we have a little confusion there because people think, oh, I don't have a car, I need Meals on Wheels. Well, if they can get out and get into the community, that's not going to be the program that's the best fit for them. And Meals on Wheels in Catawba County, it's different in every county, which is always interesting, but in Catawba County, we rely on volunteers to deliver those meals. Typically, our volunteers volunteer once a month to pick up a meal. We have 11 different pickup locations, 30 different routes, and we serve about 340 seniors on that program.
It's a lot.
It is. But with that program, we like to emphasize that it's much more than just a meal, that it's a really important safety check too, because our volunteers know that if they were expecting our client to come to the door to get their meal or to welcome them in to deliver the meal, and they can't make contact with the client, they will call our office. And we just had a call like that today because someone had fallen and they were calling 911 to get paramedics to come and respond. So it's an important safety check. And for a lot of the clients we serve, they live alone. So it might be their only contact with face-to-face contact. They might see lots of humans on TV, but it's just not the same.
In person.
Even though it's really brief, it's just a, hey, how are you? And our volunteers, as they deliver month after month, they get to know the clients that they're serving, so they can see if something is different or if there's something that they're worried about, and they will contact the office and we will follow up with their family members, and the social worker will go out if she needs to. So that is our traditional Meals on Wheels program. And it also isn't an issue of poverty. So we serve people regardless of their financial capability. So a lot of the people we do serve who are living below poverty, but it's not a requirement. You might be delivering a meal to someone who's in a nice home, but we're helping them stay in their home. And we do give them...
People don't always think about that, yeah.
And we give people the opportunity to donate towards the cost of their services if they're able, but it doesn't impact our ability to serve them because we have United Way funding, we apply for local grants, and so we're able to serve people without charging them. Our second program is designed for people who are still able to get out in the community, and that is what we call congregate meals, and that's Seniors Morning Out. And Seniors Morning Out meets Monday through Thursday. We have 5 locations in Catawba County, and we also partner with Greenway. They have some capacity to provide transportation to the site for seniors who are no longer driving. And at those sites, the site supervisor each site supervisor tries to reflect the interest of the participants at her site. There's a lot of bingo, but they'll bring in guest speakers. They have musicians who come in. arts and crafts, cooking demonstrations. So, and there's always a hot, nutritious meal served at those programs. And our third program is unique to Catawba County. It's what I view as kind of our safety net program, and it's a frozen meal program. So we do fundraising for that program, and we utilize that program in a variety of ways. So if we have to put someone on a wait list because we have a route that comes close to them but it's at capacity already, we can serve them with frozen meals. And frozen meals is someone providing 20 frozen meals for the month. They're the same meals that we deliver, the meal trays, and they're flash frozen by the caterer, and they can just put them in their freezer so they can pull them out and heat them up as needed. We will also use that for people who might be on dialysis and aren't going to be home during the day to receive their meals. And occasionally we have people who their nights and days are mixed up, and it's just really hard for them to be awake when the meals are being delivered. Sure. So it's really nice to have that flexibility. And the other thing we do with that program is for our clients who really are facing food insecurity, that are living below poverty and just really struggling to fill that nutrition need, what we will do is do what we call weekend meals. So in addition to the traditional Meals on Wheels or the senior morning out meals they're getting, we'll give them an additional 10 frozen meals for the month. So we know that at least one meal a day for the month. And then, of course, our social worker who is assigned to their case is also connecting them with other resources that are in the community for food.
Well, that's a bundle of great programs. In United Way, once a month we go out ourselves to do Meals on Wheels. It's a lot of fun. We do really enjoy getting to meet all the folks that are out there on the routes.
I think every community throughout the country has some form of Meals on Wheels because it's worked so well. And what we're seeing is an increased demand for services as we have an aging demographic. I attended a conference last week, and I think the statistic they gave that is in 6 years, 1 in 5 people will be over the age of 60
Wow.
in the U.S. population. It's kind of a staggering number when you think about it.
It is. Yes. What drew you to this kind of work, and what keeps you coming back every day?
Well, I have, it's interesting because I was a business major as an undergrad and worked in the private sector, but was always kind of torn, like wanted to be in service. And so I ended up going back and getting my master's in public health policy. And this is just such a perfect fit because it is addressing a core healthcare need in my mind. Nutrition is a core healthcare need, and I get to work with amazing people and feel like I'm having an impact. Not all jobs have that tangible feeling of like, okay, we fed 500 people today. Like that's a pretty fabulous feeling, and it's also humbling to realize how much you have to rely on other people to be able to create that impact in the community. So it keeps me on my toes.
I bet. Yeah, it does take some organization and some forethought and planning, and building, as you mentioned, a great team to help support.
We are really lucky. It's a unique situation because a lot of times you can do your job kind of in a silo, but for us, especially during meal delivery time, it's all hands on deck. If we have volunteers, because each day we have 30 people out in the community. We've got about 340 on our traditional home delivered meals, and we're averaging across our 5 sites for Seniors Morning Out about 120 people a day. A little bit, that number's starting to climb actually, which is great. And then we serve another 130 people on our frozen meals program. So we only serve them once a month, but they're getting a daily meal. So this is probably a little bit closer. It's more like 600 people.
Yeah. So that's
a lot of meals.
It is, and like you mentioned, a significant impact that is tangible that you can tell, especially with the folks that you get to meet. And I like the idea too that you remind us that it's about the nutrition, but it's also just about that human to human connection.
Yes.
As we age, and we've all had uncles or aunts who are older than us who we see age alone,
right?
And that's tough. So it's nice to know there's someone else out there who at least stops by, says hello.
Yes.
dropped off a meal.
And I feel like we're at a point in time, our culture is valuing technology so very much, but there's nothing like someone knocking on your door when it's expected and that warm human smile that someone cares and they're bringing you a meal. I mean, I don't think technology is ever going to replace that.